Log number 15. Currently recording this on the 2nd of February, and it should be live on the 5th, which is a Monday. So this week I've been actually taking it really slowly with the design. I completed the phase, which was a revelation for me, as I have actually taken a step back to reevaluate a lot of my decisions in terms of the design and at the same time how I operate it. Uh, I can say that based on my workload when I had in Flow and what I have now and the patterns that I used to do, willingly or unwillingly, they were carrying through to this design and this theme. The flow patterns of working extensively and being present with the painting and all that, which I realized in this theme is not needed. In fact, it's actually harmful if I hyperfixate on the design because the design by itself is sort of a fraction of the whole experience and understanding of what's happening. So, given that I extended the deadline to till December for this arc, I decided to consciously take more time in reevaluating and moving forward rather than having the have to finish A and finish that in a sort of a substantial amount of time that is prevalent for the deadline. So this time around, knowing that it's towards the end of the design, I slowed down and I finished the phase, which is usually the pinnacle of the design for me. I've done many phases in the design, but like the main sort of figures phase, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the time that I spent there. I was sort of extending the skills that I had, sort of pushing it forward, um, pushing it a bit further as well. Like if I could maybe add more shade or introduce more of this texture, and I did, and it was wonderful. And towards the second day, I'm I was sort of adding shades to the bottom of the design and sort of adding some shadows to this object and etc. And as I was seeing the face, I quite liked it, but I decided to, given that I'm spending more time with it, I should take a picture of it and go on Photoshop and invert it. So what happens when you invert any design when you spend a long time on? You get to see if proportionally it makes sense because usually when you see something for a while, your eyes begin to sort of memorize it and not really see a lot of the mistakes. And I something wasn't feeling right in the face, so I did that and I realized the left eye was a bit higher than the right eye, and usually I would be like, it's okay, it works, the face works, and you know, if I had the eye a little bit further down, it would have been great, but it's fine. Let's not hyperfixate on it. But now, given that I didn't really had a good excuse not to, I went back, I raised the eye and I lowered it, and with it, I started to understand how I'm evolving as a illustrator. The idea of when you like something and then you go back to it to actually make it a step further means that, in my eyes at least, that I'm improving. That I'm not settling for something that it just looks nice, but I'm actually learning a bit more. Like this step that I've done to invert it and see the mistake, and then okay, this is what I have to do without having to destroy the face and all that. It means that I'm slowly learning, and it felt nice, to be honest. And moving forward from that, I went back to the bottom part of the design and I started adding sort of details and things that I wouldn't have normally done. Given that, yeah, they look okay, like why bother? But as I was sitting with the design and sort of like the purpose of this section of the story and how you would interact with this and everything, I sort of was adding more story behind it and seeing more prevalently how everything will work together. So I quite enjoyed that. Taking a step back really allows me to enrich myself and at the same time move forward. And this is the thing that I slowly begin to understand, that by doing so, by extending sort of the timeline of things, and given the nature of this theme is quite different than my previous one, I'm making sure that I am not doing the same thing twice, and at the same time I am moving forward. And it's very important for me because I don't like doing things again, and I don't like looping, and I don't like settling really. I know it kind of sounds ambitious, and sometimes I should tell myself not to be too ambitious. But when it comes to the things that I know that I can do, and I can see them sort of happening in front of me, I do push myself, and it was a nice feeling to push myself in getting the result, and then realizing that I can do this now. So ultimately, where I'm at with design right now, I have the shadow and light values to do, which I think is going to take another week just to finalize it nicely, and as soon as I'm finished with that, I will probably see all the designs together that I have done so far, and sort of pinpoint if I need to change anything between them. I'm not going to actually change it, but just make a mental note. And then I'll probably take a few days break to reevaluate some things, read some of the story again, add some notes, because it's not just an illustrative story, but at the same time, it's a written story. It has poetry in it. It has paragraphs that explain things, and I wanted things to be cohesive. So therefore, rather than jumping from design to design, to open up the scope again and see the general picture. So I'm gonna do that in the coming sort of design moving forward. So what we established is finishing the design this week, as if that comes to fruition, that will be my goal. And onwards, it's a few days break, reevaluating things, seeing the other three designs that are left to do, uh, preferably doing the next in line, sort of adding some more elements or taking away and etc. And then slowly tackling it. I'm actually getting very optimistic about how I'm beginning to breathe and feel the theme, because I'm breaking my patterns, and I would say it is the most important thing when undertaking a, a new endeavor is to break your previous patterns for you to learn. And one of the things that I didn't want to do was how you would see many artists based in a gallery setting of having to do an exhibition, and then the next exhibition has to come relatively fast, and it doesn't really have enough time to change things or to introduce different elements of your life into it. And this time around, given that it's a lot more personalized in terms of both visually and who I am as a person, and what I take of interest, and what is my current sort of situation luring me, and the questions that I'm having right now be reflected behind this. And it's coming to be something very unique. And I couldn't be happier about this. So, yeah, this is the log 15, and it's 5 away to being 20. So I'm excited to see what I'm going to be saying on the 20th log. Not that it matters anything, but it's, if you see it, it's 5 more weeks in front, which I assume 5 weeks behind. I was saying different things and I was thinking different things, and I didn't have the same insights that I do now, or didn't overcome some of the struggles that I was struggling before. Knowing that, everything is quite interesting. Regardless, I'll be talking in the next vlog to come.